Thank you for joining. Please help support the work that I do by donating. You can donate on my website. At the very bottom of this homepage, you can donate through Stripe, PayPal, or Buy Me a Coffee. You can also be a paid member to my Patreon channel and my Substack channel. All these videos I do are for free, so please help support the work. Go to my website, the-studio-reykjavik.com. Now, for the ones that don't know, under broadcast, you can listen to audio archives of my shows, watch the live streams, and also read some generated content that I have. In addition, I have ebooks that you can purchase about finance, science, artificial intelligence, and also supplements. So let's go over the supplements really quick before we break down the information about the markets. I have structural nanosilver toothpaste. This toothpaste will whiten your teeth, freshen your breath, reduce inflammation, it helped to neutralize. It has the structural nanosilver. It has no fluoride. It's a very high quality toothpaste. Please use it every day. I have Max 35 and Max 14. Take a teaspoon a day every day, and this will help to boost up your innate immune system. Structural nanosilver, you can get it in a gel form or in the quick dispenser called Renew. It's dual purpose. It's going to help to improve your skin. You can put it on an abrasion to help heal it quicker, or a cut, minor burn. And during the cold season or the allergy season, lightly coat your nostrils. They'll stay active for 5.5 hours. I also have structural nanosilver lozenges in Manuka honey and orange splash. The orange splash is fortified with vitamin C. These lozenges, you use them during the cold season, the allergy season, even if you're cleaning around the house. Very effective, and it helps to neutralize. I have two types of probiotics. This one on the screen here is the VeggieCap version, and with a good probiotic, you're improving your gut biome. You're also improving your skin, brain function, metabolism, even bringing down inflammation at the gut level and improving your immune system. Cleanse is very similar to Max 35 or Max 14. It's 30 parts per million. Use it the same way to boost up the innate immune system. C60 is a very potent antioxidant. You can get it in a 2 ounce, a 4 ounce, or an 8 ounce configuration. It is cheaper per ounce to get the higher ounce configuration. You can get it in extra virgin olive oil, avocado oil, or MCT coconut oil. And what C60 does is it'll soak up free radicals. And by doing that, it's going to improve your energy levels, help with your cardiovascular system, your brain function. It'll help with the neurons and help with positive neuroplasticity. It'll improve the health of the mitochondria. You'll have more ATP, more energy. Your immune system and your endocrine system will improve. Very potent. It's about 1,000 times stronger than vitamin C. Take a teaspoon a day every day. It will also help with the basal layer of your skin. You'll notice that your skin is improving over time. Vitamin D3 helps to improve your cardiovascular health, helps to boost up your immune system, also helps with bone density. Vitamin C and magnesium helps with the skin, brain function, and immune system. Omega-3 helps with the cardiovascular system by bringing down inflammation, controlling your lipid profile, and reducing over clotting with the red blood cells. Ashwagandha root helps control your cortisol levels and your blood glucose levels, bring down inflammation, help with your cardiovascular system and your immune system. Good Night Formula has tryptophan, melatonin, and GABA and passion flower to get you into those 3 to 5 cycles of REM sleep and deep sleep, so you are consolidating memory, detoxifying your central nervous system, and you'll be well rested. by taking Goodnight Formula every day, you will slow down the aging process and improve brain function. I have a powdered version of the probiotic. On 2 previous screens, I showed the VeggieCap version. Resveratrol, very important. It's a strong antioxidant and helps with youthful gene expression. It helps the health of the mitochondria, so you have more ATP. And by soaking up free radicals, you're reducing stress on the cells. Resveratrol also stacks really well with C60 to help with the basal layer of your skin. Vitamin B complex, super important to take if you're 40 years of age or older. It'll help to boost up energy levels, rev up cellular metabolism, and protect neurons. Turmeric brings down inflammation and soaks up free radicals, helps with the immune system and your endocrine system. Magnesium and zinc boosts up that immune system and helps with brain function. It's very important to take magnesium as a supplement to improve brain function. Lignans is an antioxidant. It's going to help with your immune system and your endocrine system. It'll soak up free radicals. It stacks really well with the turmeric and the ashwagandha root. And by doing that, you are supercharging. There's synergistic benefits of stacking it, where you're improving your cardiovascular fitness, helping with brain function, helping with your immune system, and slowing down the aging process. I highly recommend taking the lignans, the turmeric, and the ashwagandha together. Collagen. This will help with your skin, nails, and hair, improve the health of those. Also helps with joints, musculature, and bone density. Digestive enzyme complex reduces the load on your pancreas so you can digest your carbohydrates, proteins, and lipids. You'll be able to absorb your nutrients easier and less stress on your digestive system. Clarity factor will help to get rid of that brain fog. Clarity factor allows you to concentrate on tasks. And over time, you will notice that you are thinking faster and you're improving that positive neuroplasticity. So to improve your brain function and concentration, take clarity factor every day. Olive leaf extract helps to bring down inflammation and also helps to control your lipid profile. And by doing that, you're helping your cardiovascular system and your immune system. It's dual purpose. The zeolite helps to detoxify your body. This will bind to heavy metals, toxins, and chemicals and allow you to urinate them out within 6 to 8 hours. Take 3 small drops underneath your tongue, drink filtered water. It's very easy to take and very effective. Myotrol will help to build muscle and maintain muscle, especially if you're 40 years of age or older. Do some resistance training and take the Myotrol. It has polyphenols, flavonoids, and lignans to help with the gene expression to build muscle. When you get older, your gene expression starts to decline. Myotrol helps to get back to youthful gene expression. Boomer Boost. This is a great supplement you should be taking every day. It has the vitamins, the minerals, and other supplements within this compound to help slow down the aging process, improve musculature, help with your cardiovascular health, help with your immune system and endocrine system, bring down inflammation, soak up free radicals, help with brain function, and rev up your cellular metabolism and energy levels. It is a great supplement to take. It's a month's supply. You should be taking it every day, and this will help to slow down the aging process. You can use Boomer Boost as your multivitamin. Gladiator barley helps to bring down inflammation, soak up free radicals, detoxify your body, and build muscle. You can stack it with the Boomer Boost for added benefit or synergistic. You can also stack the heirloom barley with the Boomer Boost. Now, heirloom barley detoxifies your body, brings down inflammation, and soaks up free radicals with superoxide dismutase. So if you want to build muscle, take the Gladiator barley and the Myotrol. That's a good stack too. Now, collagen is a supplement that you should take to repair your joints if you have arthritis or you have some sort of sports injury. Now, how it works is that you take the dropper and use the contents, put it underneath your tongue, drink filtered water. But what it does is it helps to rebuild your cartilage by helping the collagen type 2 and also helps to remodel the cushioning of the joint by ACAN. It also helps to block some pain by interacting with NaV 1.7. It stops erosion of the joint by inhibiting MMP3 and MMP13. And it also helps to recruit and activate the glucosamine. Helps to bring that glucosamine in to help repair the cartilage, and chondroitin. It helps to utilize the chondroitin. So it's a great supplement to help to remodel your joint if you have arthritis or a sports injury. I highly recommend taking the collagen and stacking it with the collagen. To reduce pain temporarily, take the Super Strong Relief. It's a topical. This will help with reducing pain from bruises, sore muscles, joint pain, even tension headaches. I have anti-aging boxes. I'm not going to go through them all. I have anti-aging boxes and longevity boxes that I've curated at different price points. It's a great way to start your anti-aging protocol. Or you can buy the supplements separately. It's up to you. But it is cheaper to buy it through the anti-aging boxes. And I have classes where you can join. You can log in as many times as you want, whenever you want, to learn about pulmonology and immunology. You get lots of videos, lots of PDFs. Once you sign up the module, you'll get a password to log in under classes. You type in that password and you'll be able to watch the videos and download the PDFs of the different subjects that are listed on the screen here. It's a great way to learn about how the human body works. So please go to my store, the-studio-reykjavik.com, and get the great products that I offer. And if you'd like to help support the work that I do, because all these videos are for free, please donate on my website through Stripe, PayPal, or Buy Me a Coffee, or be a paid member to my Patreon channel.
Small companies in the U.S. They never talk about this in the United States. I have to hear it from the Taiwanese outlet, and they actually did a pretty decent job. And they were saying that more and more banks is investing into these type of defense companies, because they were actually talking about the history of America. They say that the history of America, if you look at the history, a lot of defense companies were all first privately funded by the industrialists or the financiers back then, and it turned out very well for the Americans. They were saying during World War I. No, sorry. They were talking about the Civil War. And they say that in the South, this is coming from a Taiwanese show, So they were saying that, between the fights between the North and the South, there was one very important element that people tend not to, know. It's the fact that the North makes so much better rifles than the South.
Well, because the North was industrialized. The South back in the Civil War, they were more for agriculture.
That's and the North, not only that, because they were also sponsored by, some of the industrialists and that's how they say that they became so efficient They were able to make like 80,000 rifles in like a month or something. So, it was kind of fascinating. I never thought about like,
part of the whole war and capitalism can go hand in hand, actually.
I'm sorry, what?
War and capitalism go hand in hand.
Yeah. True, very true, yeah. But all these years, the banks they kind of stay away from the defense companies and stuff like that. But now it's especially with Jamie Dimon, he's the first one to start investing into these smaller type of defense companies, and it's just gonna attract more and more. So I think it's great. I think it's it's good to feel that the American in America there's these very niche new type of defense companies, and none of them is public, of course, but it's good to see like new companies are sprouting up, and not just the big automobile companies. I mean, of course they're gonna be able to, they're gonna just like what Trump says, produce more missiles and all that at the same time. It's just it makes me feel like, okay, like hope.
Well, in the news lately, CNN, MS Now, all the suspects of anti-Trumpism, they were saying that there's impropriety going on with Trump's family and Donald Trump, in terms of him making $1 billion in the crypto market and in the defense contractor market. But the thing is that the thing is Donald Trump's assets are in a blind trust, and it's being managed by a series of different wealth managers. So if the wealth managers are just listening to the news, and if he says, you know what, we have a problem in making Tomahawk missiles and we need to create a contract with GM, a good money manager would actually buy stock in GM.
Yeah.
So he's literally telling everybody what to do with their portfolio. But the Democrats are whining, and the mainstream media is whining that there's impropriety going on with Trump. And it's like Trump is being Trump is telling everybody what to invest in.
Yeah,
he's more transparent than Nancy Pelosi.
Yeah, if you really just follow Trump's, what he suggests, you make a lot of money.
I would say 80% of the time when he says something, when it involves the movement of money in markets, he's accurate. More than 80% of the time.
Yeah, I mean, if someone does an analysis of all his predictions in the market, definitely, I believe you. And I've been telling you too that
And so the mainstream media is whining that the Trump's kids, Eric Trump and Donald Trump Jr., they're making money on some deals with rare earth metals.
Yeah.
But these rare earth metals are tied to defense.
Yes.
If anyone was paying attention to the war between the United States, or potential war between the United States and China, and the rare earth metals that China has leverage over the United States, and the need that we need, then we've already telegraphed that we want some of the rare earth metals that Ukraine has. If anyone's been paying attention for the last 2 years in the news, investing in rare earth metal mining companies would have been a good play.
Oh yeah, they must.
Right. So I don't understand why the mainstream media has to demonize Trump and Trump's kids. Well, all they had to do was just listen to the news.
They're jealous. Stock market is doing so well.
But the thing is even Anderson Cooper, who was a Vanderbilt, is jealous of Trump.
He's gay. He's fucking gay. I don't know. Anderson Cooper has lost his what's the word? reputation. And who cares for Anderson Cooper now?
I think he has lost some reputation because
he's
a never Trumper, but the thing is that in terms of other CNN anchors, he's somewhat muted in his feelings. Erin Burnett, my God, she sweats hate of Trump. Every time she talks, she just sweats.
Why do you watch shows like that?
Well, I watch it for my podcast. I do commentary about this stuff. But the thing is that it's also important to understand the enemy by watching the enemy. Mm-hmm. And to understand the enemy, you have to watch CNN. And I'm also very worried about the DSA. This Democratic Socialists of America, it's spreading across the country. Rising. It's not just it's not just New York. It's spreading across the country. It's scary.
Taiwan had an election last time, and why does the Kuomintang, who's been hated for 100 years in Taiwanese people, they still won the election? Do you know how they won the election? Just giving out perks, money. It's just almost like bribing and almost legally, wrong. But that's what they did, and that's how they won the people to vote for them. So I think Trump should come out with a plan where he says, going to give money to people with some program or something like that. I think his first thing he did is try to restructure the student loan. That's why now I was watching it's like a 2-minute clip where the woman was explaining there are more ways to pay back, and so I think it's a relief for some people who have student loan. I still think it's a scam, but at least now there's a new they're more flexible, and then I think he should drop some. Just drop some money bombs, just reduce the taxes. People will vote for him if he reduced the taxes. And I think it's probably rightfully so because, with the inflation, to deal with the inflation, the reduce of the money, if you just put less tax on people, and people have more money to staff off the inflation. And like fruits and vegetables, groceries and stuff like that. If I were him, I'll just do it. Let's get our hands dirty. Like it doesn't matter. CNN say, oh, he's bribing people. He's bribing to get votes and stuff like. You know what? Welcome to the land of money. We're going to teach people the new way of this democratic socialist is not going to make money for you. Welcome to the land of real money.
Well, what I'm concerned about, you're right. The DSA is going to erode capitalism. It's going to burden the society with overtaxation, over social programs that we can't afford.
And they don't make any money for it.
But they're also going to be pushing illegal immigration with this on top of the anchor baby birthright issue that was ruled by SCOTUS. They're going to promote once the Democratic Party gets in power in Congress and also at the executive branch, they're going to open up the floodgates for illegals.
They might reduce. They might just cancel out a lot of his policies. But then,
if they don't enforce, but the thing is if the executive branch doesn't enforce immigration law and border security, there's going to be more illegal aliens having kids here. It's that simple.
Yeah, I mean, it's been going on for.
There's no way the Democratic Party is going to supporting the securing the border. There's no way that they're going to do it.
I think the only thing left is just from stopping them from coming in, because if these people can't come in, they cannot have anchor babies.
Well, I think that it should be immigration policy when they're checking in
Yeah.
for TSA
Don't
or
let
Homeland Security or whoever's running immigration, whatever department. I guess I don't know if it's TSA or if it's just Homeland Security.
It has become a supply chain, you know, that
Right.
the whole thing is.
But the thing is
like
that
in California.
But once someone is coming from overseas and they fly in or they come into port and they're going through immigration, if they are pregnant and they are, 7 months or farther along, they should be sent back to their country of origin.
Yeah.
They should not be in the country if they're 7 months pregnant or more.
Yeah. And I'm telling you,
for vacation visa.
The Chinese women, because Chinese women are petite, so they usually come in the winter time when they're like, 6 months, 7 months pregnant, and they hide under the jacket. So actually, you can't really see that. You can't really tell that they're pregnant, because American women are big. So
well, TSA can. Homeland Security can tell. You can tell if a female is 7, 8 months pregnant. You can tell. It can be in the face. They have, and they can just go into a private room. Yeah. Homeland Security can, search and determine if they're pregnant, and if they're pregnant, they are sent home. They should not come through the border if they're pregnant. 7 months, maybe even 6 months pregnant.
And the only thing they use is just the tourist visa.
Yeah. That's why I'm saying that tourist visa lasts for 3 months, right? So that's the reason why you don't want anyone that is 6 months, 7 months pregnant coming into the country.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're reducing the Chinese birthright issue. But my concern is that it's under the executive branch, and once the Democrats are running the executive branch, they're going to open up the floodgates. I'm telling you, we're going to have a ton of illegals coming in.
No. It's still under immigration. I mean, unless they change the immigration law to allow any pregnant woman to come in, I think what they're protesting now is just that anybody born in America is legal. But if we just don't let them come in, then it doesn't matter.
The reason why I said what I said was because Trump is securing the border, but that's under the executive branch. When the Democratic Party is running the executive branch, they're not going to secure the border. They're going to let in a lot of illegals, and they're going to let in a lot of vacationers that are pregnant, and they're going to be kicking out a ton of kids.
Yeah, it's gonna become UK. It's gonna be chaos. Yeah. And the American identity we're gonna lose American identity, just like what happens in UK. It's pretty horrendous in UK, and they have a 2-tier criminal system. And every day there white women get raped every single day, and they don't do anything about it. And so to enforce under national security law, I don't think anyone is going to say. I don't think anyone will have the guts to stand up and say, no, you're doing it wrong. You should allow that pregnant woman to come in. I don't think anyone would dare to say that. So they can push the laws through and everything, but from my perspective, I think I agree with what you say. It just enforce the border, and don't allow these women to come in, and that's fine. That would be good. Especially the communists. On July 1st, Trump wrote on Truth Social about Xi Jinping and about China. Because the Chinese has a new rule that anybody in the world who says anything bad about communism, they can arrest them. Okay, I don't know how they're going to do it, but according to the Chinese YouTuber, they have about 200 secret police stations all around the world. So they can give them instructions and say, go get this person, go get that person. And then that suddenly that person disappears and kidnapped. And a lot of times people don't know. So they're overreaching. So the people in Taiwan so it started in July 1st. So they say that basically, what is the definition of saying something bad about communism? Anything could be interpreted as saying, it's not saying. It's about if you make a statement, if you say, oh, Xi Jinping is bad, oh, that you could go to jail for that, So some of the Taiwanese people who have to go to China, they're a little bit concerned because it's very dangerous. These people can arrest you for anything with any reason. Oh, you carry a little nail clipper. You're terrorist, sabotaging the country. So, and I think Trump wrote something about it in Truth Social. The real kicker. Here's the real kicker. Let me tell you the story. Okay, I heard from Taiwan about America. About what Trump is doing to China. Okay. So the foreign companies in China who goes to China has been, as we know, technology been stolen, the heavy taxation, heavy fines, and they went through a lot of bad stuff. Okay, and now they all gone back to America. So what the Chinese government says is that so these American companies would go in, they give them good incentives, they give them the land, they give them the license and all that. And once all these American companies have built themselves up in China with the factories and the people and everything, and the business, China will suddenly come down and say, you know what, you violate this, you violate that, I cannot give you the license anymore. So they have to shut down because without that they can't make money. So then they have to shut down their company that they built up, sincerely, honestly, and then they had to sell at a discount just to salvage some of the money back. So
that's the reason
Chinese
why I've never believed in investing in China. I just don't.
Well, that was in the past. That's what happened to a lot of foreign companies. The Chinese, they don't play by the rule. And then once you sold your company to whoever the other company, they what is the word? They lost everything. So they're basically giving away their technology, their factory, and then make only very little money out of it. So you know what Trump is doing right now? They're doing the same thing to the Chinese company in America. So I love this. Just everybody, people are talking about this, and everybody is like, wow, this is really courageous for Trump to do that, because he's, usually American presidents, they're very academic, they're very non-confrontational. Trump is different. So he's now started to do the same thing to American companies. So once the Chinese company is America. So once the Chinese company in America, they also give them incentives and stuff like that. So that after they build out everything, they say, you know what, we can't give you any incentives anymore, because it creates jobs, right? That's why the incentive makes sense. So the first thing is that, you know what, we're going to withdraw the incentive, but without that incentive, they can't really operate. It becomes very hard for the Chinese company to operate in America. Okay, and then it forces them to have to close, because if they keep themselves open, they will lose money without the incentives. So the Trump administration is doing the same thing to the Chinese company in America. Now, same thing happening to them. They have to sell their company. And I saw the footages. I saw the fucking footages. And so they had to sell at a discount, huge discount, to some American companies. Okay, and the American company now takes over the Chinese companies, and they're like, this is a American, company, just made in America, like they just took over the entire idea, now the factory becomes American owned, and all the technology also owned by these companies. And so it's great. It's like, get a taste of your own medication. And I don't see any other president is dares to do something like this. So they basically pull the rug pull the rug under the table. And I think it's great, because these Chinese companies are up to no good. And now it's just really fast. So the American company who buys these Chinese companies in the United States, they start putting up flags, just to make it more like this is a pure American company, But I think this is great. We should not allow American companies in the U.S. We should not allow Chinese people to buy up land in the U.S. So it's like one way to get back at them and try to kick them out of the country. I mean, they're making so much money out of American government. It's just dumb. It becomes so dumb. Like, Chinese company has been doing this to American companies, and with all the president before this, Biden, and Trump was trying to do something the first term, but this time around he's relentless. He doesn't care. And I think it's great, but the American media, they don't report something like this. I think
the American media is biased to a liberal agenda, and a liberal agenda is to erode our country. They believe in, many of them believe in globalism.
They still believe in globalism.
They believe in like this idea of economic unions. They want to turn the United States into Europe.
Yeah.
Socialistic, open borders.
Free energy, that bullshit,
Yeah, it's just so anti-American.
Yeah.
Everything about the liberals are anti-American.
Yeah, and they so everything that Trump is doing, it's once if the Democrats take back control of the government, we're going to see a lot of rolling back, or not, or maybe not. Sometimes I was thinking to myself, like, these Democrat socialists, it's like flavor of the month. What's in fashion? They're not really for real. They were talking about Mandani and how everything every promise he has promised has failed. That free supermarket or really low cost supermarket, it was open for 1 month and then they can't operate without any income, so they have to close up after only 1 month. And he says he want to make buses all free.
It closed? I didn't know it closed. I didn't know it closed.
I found out. I found out from
Taiwan News.
No, not Taiwanese, but I forgot what source, but it's the real source. And it was in one of the gossip channel. I was watching. I might have gotten this on the gossip channel because they were talking about New York and Mandani and stuff like that. And so he has not made any of his promises come true, except now there's a rent freeze, but okay, whatever, so what? And then he wants to, remember he says, I'm going to make all the buses free and all that. And what happened? MTA raised the price after he became mayor. So it's like, it's just empty promises. These people are basically just greedy, corrupt, lying to people to get what they want, to get themselves power. So they're using this to disguise themselves. These wolves, disguise themselves as sheep to confuse people. But they're doing just exactly, if not worse, to New York. And I think as time goes on, I think Mandani might be the worst mayor ever. Probably worse than de Blasio. And so oh no. I was watching, because 2 days ago there was a primary, there's a Democratic primary, and they say that they were able to defeat so the socialists are coming up basically, and they're all very young.
Yeah.
And the Chinese I was watching a Chinese YouTuber who, is in America, and they talk about American, policy, and they pay very close attention to Mandani because they know what communist is like. Because these people from China, and they say that whatever he's doing is basically very communist. It's a playbook, and so, but then they say at the same time he hasn't fulfilled, his promises. The full bank closed down, and the NTA is still raising prices. They say buses all free, So it's just a game for them. They're just saying whatever to get your votes. But these poor people that voted for Mandani, I think they're gonna regret, because I don't think he's really gonna do anything for them. I mean, you have a red.
I predicted that when Mandani came into office that he would seem successful for the first year. And that gave them enough time to convince other Democrats to push socialism agendas across the country for the midterms. But after the midterms, once they get into office, they're going to start realizing that these policies are inflationary and people are going to get pissed off, and it's going to ricochet and allow for the Republican Party to win in the general election. But the Republican Party most likely will lose in the midterm.
Yeah.
Now, when they lose in the midterm, I think Trump's going to get impeached again.
I think we truly need more stronger candidates. Republican candidates in New York. I mean, it just seems like they're letting New York free fall for Democrats to play. And then, the Republicans are not serious about New York, which I think is wrong. I think, and these, I just don't understand why there are no good, more better Republican. I mean, New York State has 6 million people, and you can't find a decent. I was coming to the point that's why Jack Schlossberg lost the primary. Because I think he doesn't want to go in with the Mandani agenda. He doesn't want to, comply with the Mandani agenda. I think that's why he lost the primary.
No. He lost because he represents wealth because of his family name.
Yeah.
And his pedigree. And he represents white boy. And the Democratic Socialists are against that. It's all, if you look at everyone that won the primary for the DSA, all of them are of color. All of them.
Yeah. So the reason why he lost, it's not because he's dumb or he's not experienced. Basically, he's on the wrong side of the deal.
He's a white boy. That's why he lost.
Yeah. I mean, this is, I kind of feel bad for him, because they're never going to allow him to, because he represents the old Democratic values. right? Coming from a Kennedy family. And I don't think he wants to go along with Mandela. I think he still probably has a little bit more traditional values, and he probably also doesn't believe in this socialist bullshit, you know? I mean, his father, his Kennedy is famous for anti-communists. So
when you have the pedigree of the Kennedys not being able to win in a blue state, that's a canary in the coal mine moment.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to think of it that way. That's too depressing, you know.
The Democratic Party is they're having a civil war right now. The question is...
Yeah, that's true.
The question is, if the DSA wins, will the Democratic Party morph into a more DSA platform that's aligned with AOC? Or will the schism force the Democratic Party to be more centrist? I think anti-Semitism is going to run rampant.
I think Trump needs to do something about this upcoming, Democratic Socialist, because it was just a fun idea. I
think Trump should do an executive order just to piss off the Democratic Party. And
why is he not doing something about the Democratic Socialists? You know.
Well, I think he should do an executive order where he has guillotines made by American companies.
The guillotines, you gotta buy it from the French. They're the best.
No. We made American guillotines, set it up on the lawn of the White House, and he'll say that right before the general election that the DSA will be executed through the guillotine. Then they're gonna get all upset. It goes to the Supreme Court. Saying that he doesn't have the executive power to execute the DSA, but just to do it, just to create a stir in the media.
Yeah.
The DSA is dangerous. They are dangerous.
Yeah.
And I'm concerned that there are a lot of dumb Americans out there that are going to vote them in.
Yeah, I mean. I came across a Hoover Institute sort of advertisement, and they were saying they're talking about socialism in America, and they said that they have a free book that you can download based on Niall Ferguson and this other guy, the bold guy.
It's McMaster.
Yeah. So they say that this free book you can download. They can read about, socialism and communism, and it's kind of like their way to trying to get back at this ESA, But they're like, but in order to download the book, you have to give us your information, and I'm like, no, I don't want to give them my information.
Well, the Hoover Institute is a good institute, and one of my favorite authors.
Yeah.
One of my favorite authors is Niall Ferguson. I think he's one of the best historians ever. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I read most of his books.
Yeah.
No, he's great. And he's like pro-American.
Yeah. Well, the reason why I'm interested to read the book is I want to know just how far off America's understanding of communism, because
well, Americans that are baby boomer and Gen Xers, they understand it. Anyone after Gen X, I don't think they understand communism because they were born after the fall of the Soviet Union.
Yeah.
And this is the reason why you have a bunch of snot-nosed college kids that don't know shit, and they're voting DSA in.
Yeah. I mean, okay, so DSA, what is the end game for that? What's the agenda?
I think they want to
like America
welfare.
welfare.
They want a one-party system. Yeah, I think it's the very beginnings of what was going on with Mao in the early days in China, when during the communist takeover.
Yeah.
I think it's the same thing. I think it's just the American version of it. They want to destroy the Constitution. They want to take away property rights. They want a one-party system. They want to stack the court where, they want to rewrite the First Amendment. They want to be able to control what you can say. They want to take away the Second Amendment. I mean, it's crazy. They don't believe in the Enlightenment. They just are totally aligned with communism.
Mm-hmm.
And the Democratic Party was so stupid to allow for them to be funded through their party. They should have said that the DSA platform is not aligned with the Democratic platform. It's a different party, and you're going to have to raise funds, and you're a third-party system.
Yeah, and the ones that are supporting all this, then, is none other than Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren.
And think about it. Bernie Sanders was and is a communist.
Really?
Bernie Sanders went on when he was married, he did his honeymoon in the Soviet Union.
He what?
He did his honeymoon in the Soviet Union.
He studied in the Soviet Union?
No, he had his honeymoon in the Soviet Union when he was married. Bernie Sanders is a communist.
I'm sorry, I don't understand. He had a wedding in Russia?
He had his honeymoon in Russia.
Honeymoon?
Yes.
The Soviet Union?
Yes.
Dumbass.
Yeah. He's a fucking communist. He's a fucking communist. And so it all starts with him. It starts with that's the seeds of it. Now, you got to give him credit. One, he still has strong mental cognition for his age.
Yeah.
And he's been extremely consistent throughout his whole political tenure. But the thing is that he gave birth to Rosemary's Baby. And Rosemary's Baby is this DSA. It's this ultra left-wing bullshit that's literally going to try to take down our country.
But Bernie Sanders is a very selfish man. And I think he is
tell me
old.
What communist isn't selfish?
He was one time running for president. So I think his addiction to power and to get power and to get attention, he can't let it go. Even if he knows that this is not good for America, I think he would do it just for his own selfishness. There's a politician just like Bernie Sanders in Taiwan, and they found that he actually was corrupt, and he's going to be sent to jail. But he's very much like Bernie Sanders type.
They're all crazy.
And he's socialist too.
Yep.
He's a doctor, and he's basically pushing socialism.
This country needs to wake up and start going to war against these people.
Yeah.
First thing that needs to happen is you got to cut the funding, and you cut the funding by saying the DSA is not a Democrat. That's a different party. So you cut the funding mechanism. The next thing to do is that individuals that are centrist or conservative need to push back against these socialists in the workplace and at the grocery store or whatever. You see a blue-haired bitch, you should just start looking at them and saying, this type of behavior, this kind of look that you have is unacceptable in America. You need to grow up and get a job, pull up your pants, brush your teeth, and make sure you make your bed, and become a productive citizen. There are these females at the Harvard Club that are they have the blue hair, this kind of blue hair stuff. Some of them are younger, some of them are like Gen Xers. And I'll tell you what, they're pushing this stupid agenda. You know, it looks like that one woman from California, representative, maybe she's a senator, I'm not sure, but has that blue hair and looks like she's crazy. She's always yelling. You know who I'm talking about? She's the only senator, I think she's a senator, but that has the blue hair. She has like a bob cut, hair.
Yeah.
But she's a nut. She's a nut. And but there are people running around in New York like that, and and some of them went to Harvard. Some of them are at the Harvard Club. And people like myself need to push back. People like myself need to say in a social setting, your hairdo is unacceptable for this environment. Yeah. Get the nose ring out of your septum, and and dye your hair the natural color. Don't look like a piece of shit. That's where it starts. You have to make them feel as though they are pariahs.
That's the problem with the Republicans. They don't have enough young politicians in the government right now.
Well, I think that's why they took out Charlie Kirk, because I think that he was starting to create the next wave of conservatives.
Yeah. That was bad.
And I still think he was assassinated. I think he was assassinated, but who did it? I'm not sure. I don't know. It's cool, but he was.
It doesn't matter. They did it
because of his fund. He could fund and push an agenda.
Yeah. I mean, it's scary. But he's kind of like, how these new type of like next generation rich people in New York, they're sloppy. They don't eat properly. At least the new thing about these rich kids is that they have no manners. And I think that, I was thinking about this yesterday. Like, why is it this way? And I feel that because they're rich, they feel like they have the right to be sloppy, and no one can say anything about it. And that is another way to show off your wealth. By being sloppy, by being, not very well mannered, dressed poorly and all that. You understand what I mean? Or dress weird, whatever it is. To show that they're wealthy, and that they can still be sloppy, and that no one can say anything bad about it. Like, watch out with your manners and stuff like that. They don't believe that anymore. They believe that it's cool to just eat whatever you want, whoever you want, because it's a new generation, and because I'm so rich, you can't say anything bad about. You can't say anything about me because I'm rich. Who are you to judge me?
Right. But the thing is that they don't have to be in the social setting.
I'm sorry? Yeah, they don't have to be like that.
They can be pushed out of the social setting. If they are acting a certain way that is unacceptable, then the environment they're in, like a club or group of friends or whatever, you just push them out, and they're outsiders.
Yeah, and their parents who are like my age, my age or younger, they also don't care. That's why they have these kind of kids. They're like, let them be, let them be free, let them do, let them grow into themselves, So they don't try to teach them enough to be well behaved. They think that it's just a phase. It's just they're gonna grow out of it. But in a way, they're 18-year-old. But they behave very juvenile.
I was never a slob. I was always very meticulous.
You what?
I was very meticulous in terms of making sure everything
You're
was...
breaking up.
I was very meticulous.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was never a
Like,
slob at all. I mean, I
like,
was always...
it's almost like if you're well-mannered, you would think that all these Upper East Side, girls' schools, all the girls are well-mannered. But actually half of them is not very well-mannered.
This is the reason why. This is the reason why many women out there need to go to finishing school after college, because they're slobs.
Yeah.
They don't know how to dress. They don't know how to eat at the table. They don't know how to conduct themselves in the parlor. They're just, there's a generation out there that has lost etiquette.
Yeah.
It's embarrassing. It's very embarrassing. And, at the clubs, the people are dressing inappropriately. And many of the staff members have to walk up to them and say, "You're dressed inappropriately." Many of the staff members out there at these clubs are telling the patrons that they're dressed inappropriately.
Mm.